So, the first key to attracting cool and sexy people that you like to hang out with or do slutty things to, right? I love getting slutty, right? As you could probably see by the physical evidence on my neck. I kind of be on some demon timing. Anyways, the first part of attracting people that you want is honoring what you want, honoring your desires, and being real with yourself about them. In The Way of Superior Man, part 5 or part 6 of the book is titled Your Dark Side. And it talks about owning your dark desires, owning, like, let's say if you're a man, owning like that dark masculine desire to penetrate and to like inflict your will upon the feminine, to break her into surrender, right? But not in a controlling, right, where you want to, have power over her, more in a loving and ravishing and sacred way, where you want to have power for her, power for each other, right? And it's kind of like it's a power over her, but it's in service of love and of union and of pleasure and of commitment to each other in the moment, to the experience. You see what I'm saying? So there's like the dark masculine desire of like wanting to break the feminine into surrender. And then there's the dark feminine desire of like wanting to be broken into without consent, kind of. And this is a bit nuanced, right? This is very nuanced. And this is why, like meeting your dark desires with love and with humor is key. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of us have these dark desires, but we don't honor them and we neglect them. And I did this for a long time. I mean, like I was kind of like neglecting this aspect of myself, like this like kind of like fuckboy aspect of myself. You know what I mean? The part of me who like wants to fuck, who wants to like pound, who is like a fucking like evil person. Like the reason I got this is because I did stuff first. You know what I mean? You feel me? It's like I drew the line. I took things across the line first. You know what I mean? Like I pull her in by the waist. I put my hand on her throat. I put my tongue down her throat. You feel me? Like I hold her so closely that she has no choice but to melt into me. That's because I've been honoring my desires, right? But a few weeks ago, I was honestly kind of like fucking trapped in a lust cycle of just like expending all my fucking cum. Just busting all the time. Just watching hella porn. And it was because I wasn't honoring my desires, right? I have this desire of like, I'm gonna be real. I love hanging out with women. I love experiencing them. I love talking to them. I love learning with them. I also love touching them. I love being physical with them. And I love to fuck. Fucking is pretty cool. It's pretty great. Right? But it's a conscious fuck. It's a fuck that's driven by love, right? And by like that desire to experience the divine feminine and to truly know her, like personally. And so until I really honored that desire, until that came to my awareness, and then I decided, I'm like, like if I want to fuck, right? If this is what I want, right? If I have like these lustful desires that are manifesting in me like watching porn, but could be manifesting in me like actually doing things with a woman, why would I not just focus on putting as much of my sexual energy into that? And so it doesn't make sense to continuously like expel my sexual energy through just fapping all the time. Because one, I need my sexual energy, because that's how women even get attracted to you, to be honest. Like the difference between you like on retention and you being a fucking cum goblin is totally different. One, like the woman perceives you differently, but also you perceive yourself differently, which also helps with how the woman perceives you. At the same time, your sexual energy, like your semen, like it's so core in terms of like honing your masculine energy, or if you're a woman, honing your feminine energy. And so if you're constantly expelling that, you won't have as much of it, which means that you won't be able to like truly attract and polarize the people that you want to attract. And so like having this clarity of desire is super, super important. Like honoring your desires is super important. If you just want to fuck, like if you're not interested in any romantic relationship or anything like that, maybe you like learning about people and you could like be friends with benefits, but you're not interested in anything like that, be super fucking honest with yourself about that, bro. If you are not interested in sex at all, and you're only interested in, you know, like getting to know each other and like spending that kind of quality time together, awesome. Be super fucking clear about that. Don't compromise your values for anybody. That is super important. That is super important. Don't compromise your values for anybody, bro. Because the moment you do, you're living inauthentically, and from that, you'll be attracting inauthentically. You're always attracting based off what you're putting out, right? The signals you give out based on your mentality, based on your desires, right? Your desire and your intention, those are like your energies, your feminine and your masculine energy. Your desires, your feminine energy, and your intentions, your masculine energy. And if you don't use these things to live in alignment with how you actually want to live, and thus attract people from that, if you're stuck in living inauthentically, then you'll be attracting people to that inauthentic version of yourself, right? Like, we all understand this. When we try to put on a mask to attract somebody, right? Whether it's to get a girl or it's, you know, whatever, like maybe some guy, like to like put on the face of some guy, whatever, it doesn't matter. When we put on a mask for somebody and they get to know that mask and they like that mask, what happens when we take the mask off? They're like, what the fuck is this? Who are you? You feel me? You start showing them your authentic self and they're like, who the fuck is this? This ain't what I signed up for. And they're right. They didn't. They signed up for the mask. You see what I'm saying? This is why we have to take the fucking mask off. Because we don't want people attracted to the mask. We want people attracted to us. And so you have to honor your desires. You can't live in alignment with other people's desires or other people's intentions for you. You have to live in your own desires, your own intention, the things that are true in your heart. And so like for me, I'll just like say this. This is something that's been like a very interesting dynamic for me for a long time, in terms of kind of having like these two poles of like the guy who wants to have, you know, like a loving and committed relationship and just like be like focused on one woman. And then there's also like kind of like the fuckboy who loves just like experiencing the abundance of women and like talking and entertaining multiple women. I honestly enjoy both of these very much. And for a long time, I had a lot of like dissonance with that, because it's like, oh, I gotta choose one or the other. But I don't believe in choosing one pole or the other anymore. I believe in integrating both, holding both poles. And so I've been trying to figure out, I'm like, well, how do I hold both of these poles? I'm like, well, one, I can talk to multiple women, like that's not a problem. It just has to be in a way that is like genuine and authentic. And so like right now I'm only talking to one girl, right? But like a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I was talking with two girls, this girl and another one, right? But then I went on a date with this girl, and I was like, yeah, I want to take things farther with her, and honestly, I'm not even interested in Shawty over here. And the day before then, like actually on that day, I'd seen Shawty that like I like wasn't messing with no more. I'd seen her at the gym and I was shopping up with her. I told her I had a date that night. And I told my date the night before that I was talking to another girl. You see what I'm saying? I was just being super honest, super authentic. But after my date, I was like, yeah, I want to take things further with her. I want to see where this is going. And so I stopped, like I cut off the other girl. I hit her up immediately after my date left. And I was just like, yep, I want to take things further with the date. You know, you're awesome. I'm just not interested. You know what I mean? So I won't hit you up anymore like that. And it was cool shit. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy? Let me just tell you this. So like that day when I was talking about the girl that like I cut off, right? When I was talking to her, after I left the gym, so I left the gym because I was gonna leave and like go get ready for the date. But then I had actually spun back to the gym because I was gonna like stay there for a little longer. I'd seen her in the parking lot, and after like we had like chopped it up a little bit, when we were leaving, yo, she looked me up and down, right? And she gave me a little smile, and then her fine ass turned away. I was like, oh shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like she's like more attracted to me now. You know what I mean? And it's like, shit, I mean, that's just what it is, bro. When women know that other women find you desirable, you become more desirable to them. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? But I got super honest about my desires and about where I was at with both of them, right? And they both just respected it more. And honestly, they were both attracted to me more. And that just makes it like so easy for me. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not sitting here. It's mad funny. Somebody, one of my members came into the gym last night while I was, oh no, not last night, 2 days ago. And he'd seen my hickey. He was like, oh shit, is that a hickey on your neck, bro? He's like, you're going to get caught up. He's like, you don't have to cover that up. You're going to get caught up. I was like, man, I ain't worried about that shit, bro. And I said that, it's like, because one, I'm only messing with one girl right now. But even if I wasn't, I would just keep it a buck. You know what I mean? Like, if I was messing with multiple girls, they would all know. Like, that's the timing I'm on. Because it's like, I know I'm desirable. I know I'm attractive. I know that I'm the person that can attract the people I want to attract. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I'm not in this like lack or scarcity mentality of like, oh my gosh, the first girl that comes to me, I gotta like hold on to her and attach to her and I gotta be with her. That's how I used to be like a year ago. No longer, right? Like, I'm messing with this girl right now, and I love talking to her. I love hanging out with her. I love doing slutty things with her. It's awesome, right? If we're not talking anymore in 2 weeks, great. If we're dating, if she's my girlfriend in a month, great. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm open to anything, because that is how it should be. That's how a relationship should be. I posted a podcast yesterday on my Substack. If you guys like reading or you like audio podcasts, I send out like exclusive like written and audio content to my Digital Renaissance Creators newsletter. So if you want to join that up, that's in the description. But I was talking about this in my podcast the other day, talking about how romantic relationships should be. Because relationships should not be in this like, you should not have this mentality of like, this person is like, I'm attaching to this person so they can fulfill me, so I can, you know, have something with them, so they can give me happiness. No, that's lack, that's scarcity, that's unworthiness, that's insecurity. That is no bueno. That will not attract cool and sexy peeps for you to do cool things and slutty things to, all right? Like, that is not gonna be how it works. What you want is to rather be in this mentality of like, I just want to spend time with this person, I want to get to know this person, I want to experience this person. Because via that time, via that experience, I'll be able to learn more about myself. I'll be able to learn more about life, about relationships, about women, about men, whatever. I'll be able to learn more about reality. It's just, they're such great teaching devices. Relationships are such great teaching devices. Why? Because the thing is, in romantic relationships, we open up parts of ourselves. We express parts of ourselves that we don't often put out for anyone else, that we don't often show to anyone else. And since these parts of ourselves are being expressed, those parts can also be reflected back to us via this person. And so there will be things that come out in a romantic relationship that won't come out in any other context. And via that relationship, via the mirror that that relationship is for you, you can find those things in yourself. And you can appreciate those things about yourself that you love. You can shed light on the shadows and the things that you have to work on so you can heal and integrate those things about yourself. Shit, last night, I'll tell you this. I was on FaceTime with old girl, right? With Shotty. And we were binging Devilman Crybaby on like Teleparty. And then we like got off and we were just like talking. And I kind of just wanted to get off the phone because I wanted to just do my own thing. I kind of just want to chill. Maybe like watch a little something and then just go to sleep. You know what I mean? And we had like gone to sleep on the phone together like the past 2 nights, and I just didn't want to. You know what I mean? And so I told her that I wanted to get off the phone because I wanted to watch this podcast, which was true. I did want to watch the podcast. But she could feel that that wasn't everything. And in the moment, I kind of was still feeling uncomfortable about like sharing that with her. And so we ended that. But I was honestly just in my head, I'm like, nah, I don't like this. So I want to tell her. And so I tried to call her up, but she didn't answer. And so I sent her a voice memo. And I was like, yeah, honestly, although I said like I wanted to hang up because of the podcast, and that was true, the real reason was just because I wanted space and I wanted to be alone. That's it. And honestly, like, that was something that, like, with my ex back in, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know, back when I was with Aaron back in July through August, that was something I kind of struggled with her in terms of, like, being open about me just wanting to be by myself. And it's like, this has nothing to do with you. And that's why, like, I was avoiding it, because I didn't want her to think it was about her. But by me not telling her it wasn't, and just like that it was about me, she started assuming it was about her anyway. And I was like, she probably is doing this and I don't want this to be that way, so I'm just gonna tell her. And so I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. I just really like value and love being by myself, and like I can't give you like my full presence if I don't want to, right? If I don't want to give you my attention, then I don't like, I'm gonna like not become good quality, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be someone cool to like vibe with and hang with if I don't want to be there. And so instead of like just being there just to be there, I'm just gonna hang up, you know what I mean? And I sent that to her, and she was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so glad you told me about this, because I was kind of tripping. But it's like, yeah, I totally understand that, and we can just be honest with each other about that. And I told her, I appreciate that, and you could do the same for me. You know what I mean? Just like having that authenticity. You know, like when I started talking to her last week, I made it like a commitment to myself to be radically authentic with her, radically authentic, super honest. Because only through that radical authenticity with her can these things truly be like reflected back to me, right? There have been like a handful of times in the past week where I've been like, nah, I should tell her this, right? And because of that, I feel like I've learned so much about myself, and I've been able to grow more as well. All because I've like been committed to being like very true to myself, which is something that I haven't really done before. So that was kind of long, but that was honestly just like the intro, or like the first part of this, which is honoring your desires. You have to have that clarity of your desire, but you really need to honor them. Like, if you have something in your heart, or if you just have something, even if it's just like in your pelvic area. If you have desires that you feel like need to be followed on, follow them. Because there are always, like, the thing is, there's the sacred desires, and then there's like the shadow or the unhealthy desires. And although the unhealthy desires may lead to pain and suffering, they could. At the end of the day, you'll be able to learn from those experiences. You'll be able to gain the direct experience and the genuine knowledge, the genuine wisdom that comes from that experience. And you'll be able to get to a higher level of awareness, and thus a higher level of embodiment, right? Via exploring those pseudo, eros, shadow desires, whatever, you're able to clarify the sacred desire that lies within them, and thus you're able to follow through on that, right? Like for me, when I was like in my fucking cycle of lust 3 weeks ago, I had this desire of like experiencing women and like kind of like that masculine aggression, you know what I mean? But I wasn't actually putting intention towards doing that like in real life, like with a woman. So I was just like, you know, putting that into my hand. But then 2 weeks ago, I was just like, this is fucking dumb. I want to fuck. I don't want to like sit here and fap. And so I was like, okay, so I'm going to stop fapping, and I'm just going to get on retention until I can fuck. Like, I'm just going to fuck. The thing is, though, I was only able to get to that place because, one, I understood my desires and I was willing to honor them. But two, which is like the transition into the next one, I actually had that conviction that I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm sexy. Like, I know I'm smart. I know I'm funny. I know I'm super purposeful. Like, I know my mission attracts people. Like, anyways, I was gonna say some crazy shit, but I'll just say, like, of the women I've talked to in the last like 6 months, all of them have been like basically all of them get hot for the fact that I'm like a philosophy nerd. And the fact that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like spiritual teacher guy. I just have this like mission of like spreading the love of God to people. Like, oh my gosh, like women love that shit, bro. This is like a separate point, but you will never really attract a woman, or attract like the women like of high quality, like quality women that you really want, without a mission, without purpose. Like, if you don't have something that you genuinely like are building towards, if you don't have something that you feel like is the channel, like the damn, what is this? I guess the channel is a good word. The channel for like your masculine will. If you feel like you don't have that, it's gonna be so hard to attract women. I'm gonna be real, bro. Because like, man, this is actually such a great teaching from the Way of the Superior Man, talking about how women don't actually want to be number one in your life, right? Like, so many guys will get into relationships, and then, like, everything will become, like, backseat, and the woman will become the one priority. The woman and the priority are now my biggest focus, right? And it's like, you just fucked up, bro. Because all of the shit that you were doing that attracted the woman, you're no longer doing, which means you're gonna start depolarizing her, and she's not gonna fuck with you no more, bro. The mission has to always be a priority. Always. Always. Above your woman. Above your relationship, your mission. Your purpose. Always. And so, like, having a mission, having a purpose, like, that's actually, like, kind of like a prerequisite, in my opinion. That's a prerequisite to be able to attract women. Because if you don't, you're just like, if you don't have purpose, then what are you chasing? Probably just pleasure. You know what I mean? Like, women know that guys without purpose are just like pleasure goblins. And they're not interested in pleasure goblins, because pleasure goblins just want to fuck them. They want to be with the guy like me, who is like super cool and, like, you know, can mind fuck them with their philosophy and gets their pussy wet with my poetry, and will also fuck them. See what I'm saying? Right? Women don't want pleasure goblins who just want to fuck. Women want guys who are going places who can destroy them. That's what women want, okay? Let's talk about the next point. So, I got one of my coworkers at Planet Fitness. That's the homie. Her name is Micaiah. I call her Kaya G's. You know what I mean? And Kaya G's is awesome. Such a beautiful heart, such a beautiful soul, right? But Kaya kind of like, we like talk about romantic relationships and stuff like that, and kind of like the masculine, feminine dynamic, inner work, healing, stuff like that, right? We talk about that kind of stuff all the time. And a couple weeks ago, she told me about how she doesn't feel like, how she's like kind of had this pattern in her life of feeling overlooked or of not feeling like the first option, right? And as soon as she said this to me, I was like, Kaya, like, I said this in my head. I eventually said this to her a couple days after because I didn't want to be so direct with it. But I was basically like, Kaya, the reason that people like you feel overlooked, right? Or the reason that people overlook you is because you overlook yourself. The reason that people don't treat you like the first option is because you don't treat yourself like the first option. That's it. And when I was clarifying, I was like, when I was saying this to her, I was like, the key to attraction is feeling, and not just feeling, but knowing I am desirable. The thing is, like, I was thinking about this like a couple weeks ago, or I was contemplating. And I was like, why do like beautiful women and high level guys just like attract people so easily, right? And it's like, oh shit, it's because they know they're desirable. Beautiful women know they're beautiful. They know it. And so because of their knowing, then that embodiment, it attracts people. They know they're desirable, and so people desire them. High level guys are like, you know, like maybe he's like, you know, a killer in business, right? He makes a fuck ton of money. He's a confident guy. He's, you know, super attractive. He goes to the gym, whatever. High level guy knows that he's desirable. He's like, bro, I look good. I'm making money online. I'm doing this thing. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. He knows he's desirable. It's that conviction. That is everything. Conviction is everything. Because only from that conviction can you actually birth realities, right? Conviction, confidence, that self-worth, that self-trust, that's that inner knowing. That is the fuel for manifestation. That is what takes the mental reality and turns it into physical reality. That true knowing, oh, this is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks ago, when I was like, all right, I'm just going to do this. Like, I'm going to like stop being a lust goblin. I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to fuck. The thing is, like, I know I can fuck. I know I can attract women. I know I can fuck. I can fuck pretty good, too. I've got told it plenty of times. You know what I mean? And so it's like, for me, like, I know I feel desirable, right? I know I'm him. Like, I already told you guys, I'm smart as fuck, I'm sexy as fuck, I'm funny as fuck, right? I always make girls laugh, I always make girls smile. I'm super confident, I'm super charismatic, I have great energy, I'm purposeful, I'm driven by my mission, and my poetry literally makes hearts melt and pussies wet. Like, I've had multiple girls who I trust me. After they read my poetry, heart melted, pussy wet, okay? It's just the truth. And so it's like, because I know I have these like attractive qualities, because I know I'm somebody who can attract, I know I'm desirable, I know I'm him, I know I can attract the girls that I want to attract. Because I know that, it can happen. Right? And so like that conviction is everything. And what you need to do, if you don't have that current conviction, is you need to overcome your lack, your insecurity, your scarcity mindset. You need to overcome these limited beliefs, because these limited beliefs are what's holding you back from your conviction. How do you overcome them? By doing the necessary inner and outer work. Right? So like, let's say, actually this is a great example. I was, one of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Dr. K, Healthy Gamer GG. Right? He dropped a video yesterday talking about why self-improvement won't get you a girlfriend. And it was great. And he was like, it was like a response to a Reddit post. And basically in the Reddit post, the guy was talking about how like, bro, when you tell people, oh yeah, just improve yourself, bro, just go to the gym, just get better looking, just, you know, improve your status, improve your finances, blah, 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 right? Improve these things about yourself. Do the work. When you say that, that basically just implies that people aren't good enough. And I was like, kinda not. Right? It's like, if that's your interpretation, that's because you think you're not good enough. That's why you can't get no pussy. Let me stop. You can't attract people because you don't think you're worthy of attracting. Obviously, bro. It's like, you can only attract what you are. Like, this is metaphysics 101, law of attraction 101, right? Jesus put this very beautifully in the Gospel of Thomas. He says, those who possess something will receive more, and those who have nothing will be deprived of even the little they have. And so like for me, I have a possession of confidence. I have a possession of conviction. I have a possession of inner desire. And so those things will attract more to me, right? I'll have more confidence. I'll have more desire, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because I have this abundance mentality, I just have more of that. More of that gets attracted into my life. But let's say Jaden 2 years ago, who was this like down bad simp who was just like emotionally attached to every girl he talked to, that Jaden was super focused on feeling insecure and on, oh, is this girl texting me back? Oh, blah, 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 blah. What's she doing? Why is she not texting me? Why is she posting on Instagram and not texting me back? Oh my gosh. And I was just so attached to every girl I was talking to. Like, my emotional well-being was basically reliant on the girl I was talking to. And if that is how you are, you have work to do, okay? Your emotional well-being should never rely on somebody else entirely, right? Now, there may be factors to where like let's say like for your business or something. Let's say you got like 3 high-ticket clients paying you like $3K a month, right? Okay, 9K is your revenue, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let's say you're making like 7K in like profit or something, and you have like 5K in expenses, right? In monthly expenses. Well, if you lost one of your clients, you'd only have 6K in revenue, which means you'd have like maybe like 4.5K in profit, 4K in profit, right? You're down $500, $1,000 in your expenses. That shit would start getting you tripping, right? Right? And that example of like, oh shit, like I gotta make shit happen because like this person is actually like a key aspect of like my own life and my own like things that I'm doing in terms of like making a living for myself. Okay, cool, like that's great, you know what I mean? But like that's different than like wholeheartedly relying on somebody else to like run my emotions, right? Like if I was the entrepreneur, I could be sticking and stuff like that, but it's like, okay, I could just go find another client. But if you're attached to somebody and they're like, your emotional well-being relies on them and what they're doing and the attention or the energy they're giving to you, then like you're fucked when they're not giving you that attention, right? You're fucked. And that is no way to live. Life should not, like, your life should not be dependent upon how somebody else feels about you, on the attention somebody else is giving you. That is crazy. And that leads to a spiral of more lack, more insecurity, more unworthiness, more scarcity. You got to overcome that. How? The inner and the outer work, right? So like with that example I gave you of like why self-improvement won't get you a girlfriend, bro was talking about, yeah, like the outer work alone, like what he was saying is like, if you only have the outer work, that might not do anything. And it's like, that's absolutely true, right? There are tons of like super jacked like gym guys who have zero confidence whatsoever, zero like belief in themselves, no riz, no game, like no sauce, you know what I mean? And because of that, they don't get girls, bro. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it don't matter how good you look if inside you're a pussy. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what's out here, right? It doesn't matter how good you look. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter. If inside you don't know you're desirable, if inside you don't feel worthy. And so like the thing is, you have to do the inner work in terms of shifting your perception, in terms of shedding your limited beliefs, in terms of understanding your traumas, in terms of integrating your shadows, in terms of releasing things that are no longer serving you. You have to do the inner work, but you also have to do the outer work. That's just as important, you know? Like for me, when it comes to like attracting like higher quality women and stuff like that, for me, I feel like the main thing I have to focus on is the outer work, right? Like the physique or the money, you know what I mean? Because those are like the two highest level things. Like for me, like the inner work is pretty good. I'm super fucking confident. I know I'm him. I know I'm sexy. I know I have purpose. I have a great connection to God. Like like these things are, you know what I mean? These things are already here. But you know, it could help me more building a more aesthetic body that women are more attracted to. You know, it could help me more having financial freedom. So, you know, I have like that provision energy that women like. You see what I'm saying? The thing is like the outer work and the inner work are both super important, just as important, right? Let's take this example. Let's say you were like a super like killer entrepreneur, like you're making like a ton of money and stuff like that, but your confidence is shot, like you have like basically no charisma and you're like overweight, right? What I would tell that person to do is get your fat ass in the gym. And understand why you have this need for striving. Because more often than not, if you are an insecure, like the thing is like most high performers, most overachievers have done that out of some kind of insecurity, out of some kind of lack has gotten them there, right? Most people, 99% of people. There's the 1% who just got there out of purpose and out of his like mission. That's probably going to be me. But a lot of people get there because of lack, right? And so like what I would tell that person to do is, one, get your fat ass in the gym, because you need to look sexy if you want to feel sexy, right? If you want to feel and know you're sexy, if you look in the mirror and you don't feel and know that, that needs to change. You see what I'm saying? Like a year ago, I didn't really like my body. I was like, actually not a year ago, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was like a super skinny fat motherfucker, kind of like had like a low-key like a double chin going on. I was just like, I just didn't like it, you know what I mean? I just didn't like it. I just didn't like how my physique looked. But over the last year and a half, I've gone to a place where I genuinely love my physique. I think I'm sexy as fuck. Now, do I have more work to do? Absolutely. I can get bigger. My abs could be more toned. I could have lower body fat. Oh, for sure. But I've gone to that place where I'm like, nah, I'm genuinely confident in how I look. And so like that's not something that holds me back from attracting. Now, like there might be girls who aren't interested in like my physique. That's cool. But of the ones that are, like my physique and me not feeling comfortable in my own body is not something that's getting in the way of me. But if you were the fat motherfucker, then it probably is. You probably are insecure about your weight. And so you should change that. If something about you is making you insecure about yourself, change it. Like, I'm all for like the love and acceptance and like accepting parts of yourself. I'm also for denying parts of yourself. You should wholeheartedly accept all the parts of yourself that are authentic to who you are. Being fat is not authentic to who you are. You're full of shit. Like, what? What are we talking about? Lose weight. Having these like limited beliefs of I'm unworthy, that is not who you are. You gotta let that go. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you want to feel convicted in being desirable, then you have to actually feel desirable. And you can only do that when you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I'm sexy as fuck. Or looking in the camera, you're like, damn, this guy looks mad good. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Or when you go inside your inner world and you're like, wow, I'm so beautiful, right? Like me, like with like my with my mission and my purpose, right? I'm like a fucking nerd. Like, I'm a philosopher and I talk about spirituality and shit. Girls love that shit, bro. They love that shit, bro. I'm like a fucking, what was I gonna say? Damn. I don't even know. Fuck. Yo, I just like completely lost my train of thought. That's crazy, bro. Alright, fuck it. It happens. It happens. Overcoming your lack, your insecurity, your scarcity, that's the only way you're ever going to actually get to the plate where you want to attract people you want to attract. And let me explain why. Let's talk about the masculine and the feminine energies, right? Now, when I say masculine and feminine, I do not mean man and woman, okay? Now, although most men are masculine and most women are feminine, everyone has masculine and feminine energy inside of them. Every single one of us has both masculine and feminine energy. Okay, so we have to understand that. But like, at the same time, the masculine and feminine is way beyond like sex, right? It's about gender. When I say gender, I don't mean like human gender. I mean what gender actually means, like when you get to the etymology of gender, as in generation, creation, right? This is like the seventh Hermetic principle of gender. All things have their masculine and feminine properties because the masculine and feminine must come together to create anything, right? Just like man and woman must come together to create a baby, all things need the masculine and feminine together to be created. And so we all have the masculine and feminine inside of us. And we all also have a unique blend of the masculine and feminine energies, right? Like, most men are like mostly masculine. Like, most men are, let's say like 80-90% masculine, like 10 to 20% feminine, if we're gonna put like numbers to them. And most women are the same way, right? 80-90% feminine, 10-20% masculine. Cool. There are other people like me who are like way more balanced. They're like, yeah, I'm a masculine guy, definitely. I have more of a masculine essence than feminine, but I'm also like way more feminine than most guys. And it's not an inauthentic femininity, which is like a shadow femininity, which has just been like instilled upon me via programming and how I was raised. There was an aspect of that. But there's also just a genuine sacred femininity to me. That's just who I am, right? And so like when I put my own numbers on it, I'll say I'm probably closer to like 70-30 or 65-35 in terms of my masculinity versus my femininity. We all have that masculine and feminine energy inside of us, right? And from that, you'll be able to attract people who are the reciprocal to that, right? And so like guys who are like, let's say 90% masculine will attract girls who are 90% feminine. You see what I'm saying? Me, since I'm a more balanced guy, I like to attract more balanced women. You see what I'm saying? I like the dynamic of being like, I like playing the mask and the femme role. Like when I'm getting slutty, like bro, shit, I'll fucking show you. I have hella hickeys on me, bro. Like, this girl's a demon. But shit, I like to be in surrender and receive and feminine mode as well. I like to be in holy shit, like, give it to me, mama. Like, I like to be in that mode too. You feel me? You feel me? And so like, I have those in me, and thus I attract somebody who's also like that, right? There are some girls who would be kind of like almost disgusted with like, let's say like kissing your neck or some shit. or like doing that to you. Like some girls are like only into receiving. Like some like super feminine women. I was talking to this 27-year-old woman a few months ago, and she was telling me about like, if I have sex, like I want to be in like pure receiving mode. You know what I mean? Like me being open is what I'm giving to you. You know what I mean? And I was like, I respect that dynamic, and like I would entertain that, but I couldn't like that isn't long term for me. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want somebody who only wants masculinity from me and like is only gonna be in the feminine role. I just don't like that. You know what I mean? With like in terms of like sexuality. I want to be in the feminine role too. That's a part of honoring your desires, right? You have to be clear about who you are and about the desires you have, because only from that clarity, only from really owning those things, will you be able to attract the people who are reciprocal. Now, I was going to talk about the masculine and the feminine energies because this is very important to understand. This is going to be like a quick overview. In terms of like the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, right? The masculine and feminine energies, how God designed and intended them to be. The sacred masculine seeks to know the feminine, wants to adore the feminine, and wants to love the feminine, and wants to pursue the feminine, and wants to have power for the feminine, and wants to raise up the feminine, and kind of like, yeah, adore her. Like that's the word. The feminine wants to have all these things from the masculine. She wants to feel seen by the masculine. She wants to feel held by the masculine. She wants to feel loved by the masculine. She wants to feel like the masculine has that power to serve her, has that power to empower her, has that space to hold her, to make her feel safe. You see what I'm saying? And so like these are the sacred masculine and feminine dynamics. Unfortunately, most of us aren't operating out of our sacred masculine and sacred feminine. Most of us are wounded, right? Most of us have been wounded by our parents or by ex-partners, whatever. And having this wounded masculine energy in you, right? And like this isn't man or woman again. All of us have masculine and feminine energy in us, right? All of us probably have our own wounded masculine and wounded feminine, as well as sacred masculine and sacred feminine. We all share, like all four of these energies live inside of us right now. The wounded masculine seeks to take and honestly, like take is the best word. It's not like a giving and receiving. It's more of like a inflicting my will upon you. And that is dark, right? And now there can be a super dark aspect to that where it's like rape. There could also be a sacred aspect to that dark desire, which is ravishment, which is like inflicting your will onto like the resisting feminine so you can break her open into love, right? That is beautiful, right? Like this is something in masculinity called like holding frame, right? It's kind of like standing in your beliefs, in your conviction. Like there would be times when I'll give this example, all right? Back in when I was in college, I was messing with this girl, and we started like messing with each other like on like Tuesday of that week, and throughout the week we'd gotten to the point where she was spending the night on Friday, okay? And so we were kind of like she was like we were in my dorm room, she was on my bed, or we were on my bed, like I was there, she was on top of me, we were kissing and stuff. Or no, I was on top of her actually. And we were kind of like getting hot, it was getting hot. And like you could feel like sex was close. But she had said to me like, I don't want to move too fast or something along those lines. Or I'm like scared of moving too fast or something like that. And I was kind of like the feminine resistance, right? And I said to her, I said something along the lines of like, I only want to be with you, so I don't care how fast we move. Something along those lines. Like I said, I don't care how fast we move because I'm like, I was so like devoted and committed to her in that moment, right? And I wanted to be with her. And so in that moment, when she heard that, right, she felt that safety and that openness, and she broke. And then we had sex after, right? That was like that penetration, you know what I mean? It's like she wanted it, but there was like some fear in her, right? But when you meet that fear with love, and when you hold that space, she melts away. the wall whoosh, goes away, and then you can inject your masculine will, your presence, your love into her, and you can fill her with that presence, with that light, with that love. But that was basically an aspect of like the dynamic of like the masculine kind of breaking the feminine into surrender, right? Penetrating the feminine into surrender, because the feminine will resist. The feminine often resists, but it's the goal of the masculine to recognize that although she's resisting, although she's fighting, she doesn't actually want to win this fight. She just wants to know, I'm the one who can make sure she doesn't win this fight. See what I'm saying? And so like, women will test you. Women will resist you. Don't let that stop you. Hold frame, okay? I was talking about this because of like, in the sacred aspect of like, that dark desire. The sacred aspect of is like the ravishment, where out of love, I break you into the surrender for the love. But there's like the shadow aspect of it, where it's like unconsensual things like rape, where it's like, I'm breaking into you like without you wanting this. This isn't about love. This is about control. This is about power. This is about me, right? And my own insecurity. So the wounded masculine seeks to take and control the feminine, have power over the feminine, not power for her, not power for the relationship, power over her, power over the relationship to serve you, to serve your own egoic and shadow and insecure desires. That's the wounded masculine. The wounded feminine, since she wants to be loved and adored and, all these things, she will take the bullshit of the wounded masculine. She will take his narcissism. She'll take his lying. She'll take his manipulation, because she wants that. She wants that safety. She wants to feel that love, safety. When it comes to our wounded masculine and wounded feminine, we have to relearn what love actually is. We have to learn what these programs are. We have to learn that the things that we've learned and the things that we've been identified with aren't actually who we are. Those aren't the trueness of our desires. Those things are like wounds that we have to understand and recognize so we can integrate them or expel them. Understanding the masculine and feminine dynamic is super important, because you have to understand that from your own, like, let's say for me, from my own sacred masculinity, I can attract a woman with that same sacred femininity. From my own wounded masculinity, I can attract a woman with that same wounded femininity. Like attracts like. You attract what you are. Those who possess something will receive more. See what I'm saying? And so, remember when I was telling you about Kaya? I've been telling Kaya about like the wounded masculine and feminine dynamic, and how like you attract what you are like a lot over the past couple months. And after we talked a couple weeks ago, it really clicked for her. She was like, oh wow, like of course I feel this way. Like of course it's like this because I have been overlooking myself. I haven't been feeling like I'm the number one option. I haven't been having that true conviction and belief in myself. I haven't been viewing myself how God views me. I haven't been perceiving myself as beautiful as I am, how intentional as I am. Kaya recognizing like her wounded femininity and like healing those parts of herself, basically takes the energy from the wounded femininity and puts it back to the sacred femininity. You see what I'm saying? And from that, sorry about that was gross. So from that, she'll be able to actually attract people who are more in alignment with that. I've seen this so clearly. Like the girls I attracted 2 years ago were so like, they were all depressed, they were all insecure, they all had daddy issues, they all had communication issues, they all have their walls up. Why? Because I was like that. The girls I attract now, yeah, we all have our stuff that we're still working through. That's because I am too. We're all fucking human beings. They're also pretty fucking cool. And they're also really beautiful. And they also really like doing slutty things with me. And I like that. You know what I mean? I've gone to this place where I've actually gone like, I actually can attract like cool and sexy women that I like hanging out with and doing slutty things to. And they like doing the same things to me and hanging out with me. I've only gotten to that point because I've overcome that lack, that insecurity, that scarcity. I've done the inner work that makes me not feel like I need someone else to fulfill me. I've done that inner work that makes me know that I'm good enough, that makes me feel confident in myself, makes me feel confident in my mission. I've done the outer work of fucking being more confident and getting more charismatic by talking to a ton of girls. I've done the outer work of building something online that shows that I'm actually like pursuing a purpose and a mission, and that I can put my attention towards, right? You can see that. I've done the outer work of putting myself into a physical body and maintaining a physical body that I love. I've done the inner and the outer work, and so I've got to the point where I actually feel good about myself. I know I'm desirable, and so I can attract from that. That's everything. Here's what I want to end off. The relationship reframe. So I told you guys about my ex, Aaron. We were together from July through August. Or July through October, rather. After Aaron and I broke up, it was like a wrap for me. I learned so many things, because Aaron was the first relationship that I had in this not insecure piece of shit mindset, like in like state of being, right? Where I wasn't just this like super insecure motherfucker. But afterwards, I realized there were still so many insecurities and things that like were unconscious and were still there. The biggest thing was like, in terms of like kind of like that latch mentality, right? Like a lot of us approach relationships in terms of like, oh, I want to find this person that I can put my attention towards, put my energy into, and that they'll make me feel happy, they'll make me feel fulfilled, whatever, right? And so like, if you're somebody who doesn't attract a lot of people, if somebody comes into your life who is like giving you that attention, giving you that energy, you may just latch onto them and be like, I need to hold on to this person for as long as possible, as tight as possible, so they don't go nowhere, so I don't feel like, so I don't feel this lack, so I don't feel this, You see what I'm saying? If you are able to overcome your need, your feeling like you need to hold on to somebody to feel fulfilled, to feel good, you won't need to attack somebody else, right? And this comes with actually doing the inner work, actually overcoming that lack, actually overcoming the things that make you feel unworthy, the limited beliefs that came from your parents or from the school system or from the media or from the religious figures, whatever. Overcoming the limited beliefs that are keeping you trapped in lack and separation and unworthiness. By understanding that you're connected to the all that is, understanding you're one with God, you're one with the all, which means that you're one with all that is. You're one with the love of God, the abundance of God, the intelligence of God, the infinity of God. You're one with all of these things. So all of these things are in you, and you have access to those things at any time. I hope that thing isn't too loud over there. The guy came over here to like start working on the pool and stuff, so hopefully you can't hear that too much. We're gonna wrap up here soon though. When you feel like you're enough, when you know you're good enough, when you are content with being by yourself, that, like from that place is when you can really start attracting cool and sexy people. Because if you're just in this like, I need somebody to make me happy or to make me fulfilled or to give me something I can't give myself, if that's your mentality, you're gonna attract people with that same lack, that same scarcity. And that's likely just gonna lead to a relationship of more scarcity, more lack, probably no growth, you know what I mean? You don't want that. And so it's like, if right now you feel like you're unworthy, don't worry about attracting other people. Worry about fixing your unworthiness. How do you do that? You do the inner work, you do the outer work, right? If you don't know how exactly that looks like, and you'd like some guidance from me, if you found this video valuable, we can hop on a 30 or 60-minute one-to-one guidance call, and I can like be like, yo, okay, these are your beliefs, this is what I'm hearing you say about me, this is your story, here's the things you can actually do, right? So if you find this video valuable, and you'd like some actual like personalized advice, like YouTube videos are awesome, but it's just general, right? It's not specific. So if you'd like some specific advice because you actually want to change your life, come hop on a call with me. But you have to do that inner work so you can feel enough, so you can feel worthy, And if there's outer things also in your way of feeling that, you have to do those things as well. When, like for me, I don't have a attach myself to this person so that they can make me happy mentality with relationships. I have I want to spend time with this person so I can learn and experience and grow. I want to learn more about myself. I want to learn more about life. I want to learn more about women. I want to learn more about relationships and how I want to have relationships. I want to experience women. I want to experience the physicality of women. I want to experience sex. I want to experience intimate conversations with women. I want to experience holding space for women. I want to experience just being present with women. I want to experience these things. I want to learn and experience these things so I can grow. So I can grow closer to my highest actualized self. So I can grow deeper in wisdom, deeper in understanding. So I can serve people better from that. I have such an abundance mentality now when it comes to relationships and serving and women. I just want to learn and experience and love life and serve others from that and from what I learned. Rather than I need this thing or this person so I can feel some kind of way about myself that I don't currently feel. Nope. After Aaron, I had to kind of come to this relationship reframe of, I don't actually need to hold on to somebody in order to gain something beautiful from it. Because the beautiful things are already there, regardless of if they're there or not. After Aaron, I was like, Aaron and I had a ton of beautiful times. And the thing is, I was able to learn so much from all the lessons, right? This actually kind of got clarified to me when I was talking, me and Aaron were talking a month before we broke up about past relationships, and stuff that she was dealing with. And this kind of came to me as we were talking, and it's just stuck with me ever since. We're grateful for everything in relationships. We're grateful for the great times because they're beautiful and we appreciate those times. We're also grateful for the ungreat times because those ungreat times taught us great lessons. The thing is, relationships kind of have this dual nature of the beautiful experiences and then the struggles. But the thing is, the struggles can birth beautiful lessons. And so you don't have to view relationships as this good or bad. It can just all be great. It can all serve for the evolution of you. It can all be beautiful. It can all be beautiful if you choose to perceive it that way. If you choose to not have to attach to the person, not have to hold on to everything, but just hold on to the moments you already have, the beautiful moments you already have with them, the beautiful experiences that you've already created together. You can just hold on to those. You can hold on to the beautiful and great lessons that you've been able to learn via this person. You can hold on to those. But you don't have to hold on to them. They don't need to be in your life. You don't need to communicate with them. You don't have to have their energy to feel complete, to feel whole, to feel fulfilled. All you need is you and God. And the thing that God has put you here to do. You also need that. But when you have those things, you're good. You won't have this lack or this insecurity moving from that attracts people to the mask. As you grow in your connection to yourself, as you grow in your connection to God, as you grow in your connection to your mission, your purpose, the mask comes off more and more and more and more. And people become more and more and more and more attracted to your authentic self. And as you become more and more convicted and knowing and feeling in your desire, people will also be attracted to that and resonate with your energy. So that was it, guys. That was the key to attracting cool and sexy peeps that you can hang out with or do slutty things to. Honoring your desires, feeling and knowing you're desirable, super important. Having that conviction in yourself. If you don't have that conviction, overcoming your fear, your insecurity, your lack, your unworthiness, your scarcity, overcoming those things by doing the necessary inner and outer work And also the relationship reframe, right? We don't need to hold on to everything. We don't need to hold on to people. We can just have the experiences that we already have. We can have the lessons that we already have, and that can be enough if we choose it to be. That can be enough. You don't need to attach yourself to this person to be happy or fulfilled. You can look to a person to learn, to grow, to experience God, to experience life. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And it serves as a vehicle, as a mirror to help you that you couldn't do by yourself, but it's not something that you need. It's not something that you feel incomplete without. See what I'm saying? That's the key. This has been good. If you've gotten to the end of this video, you're a real one. Quick CTA again. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm going to be making way more content about relationships. So tap into the newsletter, the Digital Renaissance Creators newsletter and podcast. I also post stuff about philosophy, spirituality, creating. I also have some poetry on there. So that's that. And if you're interested in an in-depth guide on shifting your perception and reclaiming your mental health, check out the top link in the description for my Mental Alchemy 101 course. That course has basically all the knowledge from the past 6 years of my own inner work journey, my own mental health journey, my own spirituality journey. And I've distilled it and given you action steps to like practically shift your perception, to practically change your mental health, to practically shift how you see yourself, shift how you see your struggles, shift how you see reality, and actually start moving from that place. So if that intrigues you, first link in the description, Mental Alchemy 101. Do it today. Be better for it tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay loving. That's not how I end the videos anymore. Stay devoted. Stay inspired. Thumbs out.